Good afternoon, nation. John here. It is 3 p.m. This can only mean one thing. It's time to go running. Welcome to Prepper Nation. I am John. Thank you very much for watching, for hitting a thumbs up or a thumbs down and helping other people find this platform and hitting subscribe and helping the platform grow. It is truly appreciated. So this is the rundown. This is your show. This is where we cover the comments from this morning and got them right here. This morning we were talking about, kind of breaking the spell of the fear porn that is attached to this alert that we're supposed to get tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so we're going to dive right into it. And yes, I was using clickbaity looking thumbnail art and title this morning. It's tongue in cheek. I have fun with it at this point. I mean, it's all over the place. Might as well join in on it a little bit. So, first we go to the live chat. And it seemed like, let me just say, it seems like there are two different camps within the prepping community. Half of the comments that came across were like, thank God somebody's talking about this rationally. It's just another alert. And then other people, were sticking to their guns, so to speak, and I can respect it. And they're like, well, I'm doing this anyway, yada, yada. So we're going to get into it. Triple T Tony this morning in live chat said, is this a test any different than the past alerts? So a little bit. Usually the past alerts over the past several decades, they would just hit TV and radio. They weren't really focused on connected devices. So it is different in that they're casting a broader net. And of course, with the connected devices, it's a two-way conversation. As we talked about, I think it was last week. It's two-way conversation, so it is a little bit different. But it's no different than the same kind of test, Triple T, that happened on Trump's watch. This has been done once before, and from what I understand, they sent it out. The Trump administration designed this. They sent it out. For whatever reason, it did not hit all of the smartphones. It did not hit all of the connected devices. And so, in my opinion, they're retooling it, trying to get it to where it's going to hit everything at one time. Okay. So it is a little bit different, but not wildly different than in the past. Joe Boo, well, you could take the SIM card out of the phone. You could, but the question remains, what's going to happen when you put this SIM card back into the phone? That's one of the points I was trying to make this morning. People that, again, are Faradaying this stuff, their phones during this test, or, putting it in microwaves and wrapping it with aluminum foil. Then what? What's the end game on that? Because the moment you pull it out of a bag or a microwave or put the SIM card back in, you're still going to get the alert. I mean, you're just putting off the inevitable. You know what I mean? Unless you keep the SIM card out of the phone for eternity, at which point, good for you. We need less smartphones in our lives anyway. Outlaw Farms, don't care what list I'm on anymore. There's a great sense of freedom in that, isn't there? When you just get to the point, because lists used to be threatening. I think they started out as a threatening posture. You don't want to end up on a list. You don't want to end up on the bad side of the government, etc. But once you reach the point where you don't even care anymore, it kind of takes their power away. You know what I mean? So I'm with you there. I'm like, put me on any list that you want to. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not advocating for anything illegal. I really have nothing to hide. You know what I'm saying? Put me on 1,000 lists. I really don't care. I'm still going to do what I do. and I'm not going to be threatened otherwise. Go ahead, send out the alert. I'm not afraid when it comes at 2:20 tomorrow p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or approximately. Not afraid when I hear the alert. My stomach's not going to drop to the floor. At least I hope, right? Life goes on. Harvest whatever you want to. You do it day to day anyway. That's how I approach it. Mike McDonald, 100%. They can do whatever they want to. So we were talking about the government, and even beyond the government. This standing order, or this developing one world government that is controlled from Switzerland. They do what they want to anyway. If they want your data, they're going to get it, unless you're on a dumb phone, a flip phone, but they're phasing those out. They've already come out and said those are going to be phased out. We're going to be living in a society where your smartphone is the key to everything, to paying for goods and services, to getting on and offline, getting out of brick and mortar stores. You're going to have to carry health passports on these things. Everything is going to be tied to the phone. So it's really a decision of, are you going to accept that and continue to play the game, or are you going to become Amish, or live totally off grid? I mean, there's no in between. We're reaching a point, at least, where there's no in between. So they're going to do whatever they want to anyway. You can't really avoid it, you know? Again, unless you join an Amish community. Mighty Warrior. Snowden told us the truth. I don't disagree with that comment. I believe that he did as well, but I believe he told us the truth with the idea that Americans were going to be enraged, and they were going to stand up, and they were going to say no more. And instead, he told Americans the truth. Again, I believe that. And just watched Americans, it's just gripe about it for a little bit and go about their day, because they're not going to do without what is it, wordle. They're not going to do without Angry Birds. They're not going to be inconvenienced in a world where they don't have Facebook Messenger downloaded onto their phone. They're willing to, I don't know why, but they are willing to completely trade their privacy when the facts are right there in front of their face, that's being harvested and in many cases sold. It's not random that you get these phone numbers about these phone calls about your extended car warranty, blah, blah, blah. All right. Your information has been sold by companies that offer the free applications. Seabass says it's the intro for CBCD, which is just the all digital currency that central banks are working on. They've almost got it finalized, and they're going to introduce it. And it could be that they're going to use this alert system for something of that magnitude, or something else entirely. I'm not disputing that at all. Excellent comment. I'm just saying the test itself, there's not a whole lot to worry about. I would be more focused on why they're setting this test up. What do they hope to gain from it in the long term? It could very well be that it could be something totally different. It could be, as we said last week, this could be how they introduce the draft. Gotta have that war, right? Gotta try and hide the economy, the economic woes that we have in this country. So we need another 20-year war, if you will. Don't have the soldiers to fight it. So we need a draft. We need to make sure that everybody gets a notification who is drafted. It could be this. This could have something to do with the next pandemic scare. Who knows? I'm not in a position to know that. I just think the test itself, and all of this paranoia about avoiding getting these messages. I mean, you're going to get them anyway. Again, when you pull this thing out of a microwave, you're going to get the alert. You can't run from this thing. I'm more focused on what's coming next. Simply Tony, I wish it was zombies. Simply Tony said, we were talking this morning, and there have been some communities that are passing that around. I think, and seriously, this is happening. People that took the whiskey shot, when this test goes out, they're going to be alerted like they're Cylons on Battlestar Galactica, right? Like a switch is just going to flip inside their minds, and you're going to hear that classical music off the reboot show, which is an excellent show, by the way. And all of a sudden, they're going to become zombified. I'm not discounting it. I'm not saying anything could happen, but I think those communities are going to look really foolish the day after, because I don't think that's very likely, folks. And to your point, simply Tony, I wish it was zombies too. Zombies would be a lot easier to combat than the Economic Forum that meets in Switzerland, right? Because zombies aren't really critical thinkers, and those people are. And those people, they're playing a very long game of chess, and the masses are asleep. Most of them, anyway. Savage Lee, Y2K anyone. This was a very popular comment during the live chat and after the fact. A lot of people were referencing Y2K. They were saying, man, this level of paranoia, it's what we saw during Y2K. Now, admittedly, during Y2K, I wasn't a prepper, but I remember seeing so many books and so many warnings, and oh my God, everything's going to collapse when we hit all zeros for the new millennium. And I will say, if there's an upside to all of the paranoia, especially when it comes to Y2K, a lot of people got turned on to prepping because of the paranoia that was Y2K. So we may see a lot of shiny new faces in the prepping community. The important thing is, once they get here, we get them prepping. Uh, we get them to think critically as they prep, and get them prepping with purpose, and not continue to just scare the daylights out of them every single day with big red screens that say red alert, zombies are coming, son, they're coming tomorrow. Now switching over to the replay crowd. Kentucky Ready, I love that name, by the way. And I'd asked in chat this morning, why are people hiding their cell phones in microwaves and wrapping them with aluminum foil, or putting them in ammo cans and burying them out in the backyard, so to speak? And Kentucky Ready said, why? I'd rather be safe than sorry. Safe how? I guess it is the follow-up question. How is it making you any safer? Because again, no matter how you block the initial the signal, this is not just an alert that goes out and that's it. This is an alert that goes out to your specific connected devices and begins to bounce around. And it's going to continue to bounce around for decades until you finally, 20 years from now, you finally put the SIM card back into the phone after you pull it out of the microwave. You're going to get the alert. I'm not sure how this makes you any safer. You understand what I'm saying? Unless you're just totally getting rid of the cell phone prior to the test, that's the only way it makes sense. Wow. Baby Wombi. Man, my handwriting is terrible, y'all. For the record, let the record show my handwriting is terrible. They're linking it all together. The final link is AI on the 4th. Okay. I'm not going to say that's not correct. I think AI has already been implemented a lot further than the average prepper seems to think. Most of the stuff that happens here, we talk about algorithms and things on YouTube. I know MD Creekmore put out a video this morning, and it's 100% accurate. YouTube will not stay off your back. It was titled something like, I'm leaving YouTube soon, or I'm going to be gone from YouTube soon. And he's speaking truth over there. And algorithms exist, but I think AI is already in charge of a lot of the things behind the scenes. And this could be the government putting the AI in charge of the test for sure. But I have no way of knowing that. They are linking everything together, but again, for what I don't know. But AI is a huge issue. Excellent comment. Just a biker. I have to say, I enjoy when you have a moment. So I wasn't trying to have a moment this morning. It's more along the lines of people that will leave comments and they'll say, "Hey, why do we continue to recycle the same stuff in the prepping community? Why are we talking about this again on Prepper Nation?" Because once again, it's the newest, shiniest, scary fear porn thing in the community. And if everybody's focused on that, I kind of have to talk about it. It's not that I'm trying to have a moment. I'm trying to come in. I'm the dude that comes in and says, calm down. Please calm down. Get the tinfoil off your head for a second, okay? And that's coming from me. Mr. 9/11 was an inside job. Mr. Pearl Harbor was an inside job, a false flag. So coming from me, when I'm on here saying, people, please just calm down and prep with purpose, it's gotten bad, right? Every single day I'm walking into some theme. There seems to be a theme every single day in the prepping community. And this theme is meant to scare people. And everybody is jumping onto this theme. And so I have to talk about the theme, right? In order to connect with those people, because that's what if everybody else is talking about NFL football and I'm over here talking about beer league softball, ain't nobody going to find the video. So I have to connect in that way. But then when I get over there and everybody's scared everybody, I'm the dude that's just like, please just calm down a little bit. Okay, I'm not telling you not to be prepared, but please just calm down a little bit. Jane Kelly, my fear, you shouldn't have fear, is they are so incompetent, they'll crash the internet. Hopefully. Hopefully they crash it for a few years. So all of the cell phone zombies wake up. I realize that is a strange statement to be hearing from a YouTuber. I get it. I get the irony there. But I'm willing to leave YouTube laying for a couple of years if it means the rest of the world wakes up. We can rebuild the internet eventually, and who knows, maybe there might still be some beaverines out there. But the point is, we talked about this yesterday. People are too connected nonstop to the internet to the point where they're not even, in some cases, living real life anymore. So, yes, they're incompetent at the top level. I don't think it should be a fear that the internet goes away, unless all of your money is in a bank and you have no way to get that money out. But again, all of your money, I would argue, should not be in a bank in 2023. Scott Beto, I'm not worried. I'm prepped 24/7. This comment right here. Let me read it again. Scott Beto, I'm not worried. I'm prepped 24/7. This is the attitude that preppers should have. It doesn't matter what the theme is when you wake up in the morning. It doesn't matter. Oh, Putin is moving troops around. Y'all get ready. I'm already prepped. I'm not worried. I'm prepped for that. Zombies are coming. Y'all get ready. I'm not worried. I'm prepped 24/7. There's emergency tests coming. Y'all get ready. I'm not worried. I'm prepped 24/7. You understand? This is everything. Be prepped 24/7, but not because you're worried, okay? The opposite. You don't want to be worried, which is why you prep. Such a great comment. David's R. It's called the Chicken Little syndrome. The sky's falling over and over and over again, day after day after day. It is, man. And we got too much of if it's the Chicken Little syndrome, we got way too much of it. Uh, Said this a few weeks ago. This is the one community that should not be afraid. If we see an economic crash tomorrow, we should be the ones that aren't afraid. We should be the ones that are prepped 24/7, right? If we see World War III go red hot, we should not be worried because we're the community that should be prepped 24/7. It's insane. Ryan Caruso, what's the point of the test if they don't want us prepared? Fair comment. Good comment. So I said this morning, and I stand by it, the federal government does not want us prepared. In fact, they want you to tattle on people that are a little too prepared. We've seen those, right? I have seen them on social media anyway. And I'm like, well, I guess I can turn myself in here, son. So what's the point of the test? Getting back to an earlier comment, I do think that they are trying to line things up. They do need, for whatever reason, to reach everybody at one time. All right. But I don't necessarily think that they are doing this for the benefit of the American people. I could be wrong on that. But if they're doing it to benefit the average American, it would be the first time in a long time our government has done anything to benefit the average American. I think that they are putting this together because they need to reach every eyeball, at some point in time to deliver a message that's just going to gut the nation. Again, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's your central bank saying, good news, we're switching to an all digital currency. Your paper fiat will be worthless in a week. I don't know if this is, we're going around collecting silver and gold, but don't worry, we'll give you numbers on a screen. I don't know if this is, hey, great news. The newest whiskey shot is now mandatory. And this is our way of letting you know if you don't comply, we're coming to your front door. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it, but I don't think they're doing it. Personal opinion. I don't think they're doing it to benefit the average American. Bama Jen. So many other things we need to um, be covering right now, concerned about right now. So many other things. You're not wrong. Not to sound like the Chicken Little, that Chicken Little comment there, the Chicken Little syndrome. I don't want to sound like the sky's falling. All right. I want to be optimistic, but I got to be realistic. And realistically, our country, woo, we've taken some hits over the last few years, and our country is not in the best of shape. We're hanging on by prayers and toothpicks and bubble gum. I mean, this thing is getting ready to collapse in one way or another, and that's what we should be concerned about. If the grid goes offline, if the banks collapse, for example, how does the average person make it if they can't draw their money out of the bank? How do we plan for that? Well, you go ahead and draw it out of the bank and you put it to good use. Maybe you pay debt off or you buy commodities and things like this. If we go to war and there's a draft, how do we get out of that? There are a lot of concerns. Food inflation, filling the vehicle up with the next tank of gas for me is a concern. That to me is a bigger concern than this silly test. Finally, Sean the Don. The following day, I'm still going to have to wake up and go to work. Right there. Sean the Don is going to have to wake up like many of us on Thursday morning. It's going to be business as usual. Joe Biden has a war that he has to pay for in Ukraine. Again, why I don't know, but I'm not privy to that information. All I know is they want a war. They want it full blown, and we're on the hook for some reason to pay for it. We've been colonized by Ukraine. I don't know why, but Sean the Don and many others are going to have to go to work Thursday morning. America, business as usual, and we're going to be leading into the election cycle, the election season. That's an SHTF all its own. Folks, thank you for being here and for checking out the rundown. Till tomorrow morning, y'all take care. God bless.